Hey everyone, this is Jove here. I am going to show you just a quick head swap and what I do for head swapping. So I use Photopea because it is free. I do pay for their service just so I have an unlimited amount of removed backgrounds, but this is what I jumped on when I first joined the league and wanted a way to make graphics, and that I found out that was free. So in Photopea, I'm just going to do a new project here. Size doesn't matter for this. So going to look up just a random NHL player body. And we've got to find a body that's going to orientate well with the image we're trying to head swap with, which is going to be Willie Nelson. I'm going to work on a IIHF SIG here for Holy Smokes, who does not have a render decided on. And when I made his card, I made it as Willie Nelson because name sounded like it would work well with it. So I'm going to go ahead and look at doing a head swap for Willie Nelson so I can work on Japan SIG. So Willie Nelson's hair does make it a little bit difficult. So I'm looking for one where maybe I don't have to work around too much hair and can just place them on the body okay. And size here shows me it's going to be a pretty large photo, and that's what I want. So I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm just going to select a little portion of it here, so I'm not dealing with that whole bit. Oh, well, that didn't work. Alright, Control X to copy it, and Control V to paste it. There we go. Now I'm going to remove background. You can see what I'm left working with here, because I'm going to have to remove some around the shoulders. And down here in the hair, it's going to get a little difficult because of the colors. So remove background, add a mask layer over the background. If I disable that, you can see the original background still there. So I'm actually going to accept this because I'm going to create a new mask layer here. And if I use black ink on this mask layer, when I have it selected, I can essentially erase stuff, and if I change it back to white ink, bring it back. So that way I'm not actually erasing and making things permanently. So prep work on this here, I am gonna just look at removing basically the rest of his body here. And as we kind of get closer to some of the hair, because it's not going to come out as cleanly coloring in with just a regular black. We're going to do this here that has less hardness, because it fades it out like that instead, and it comes out looking a lot better when you're dealing with hair like he has. So let me do it this way for just a little bit more of it around the hair areas and stuff. You can see a little bit of his guitar still on that hair there, but I think that'll end up blending okay. If I right click, I can change the size of this here, or you can do it up top there. So right now I'm just getting as much of this hair kind of removed, and I'd like to leave as much of his neck as possible so that I have something to work with whenever I go for the head swap. A little bit of hair here doesn't really matter. I'm trying to get it kind of as close as I can so that whenever I hit it with the other style, I don't even know what it's called, honestly, soft round, it comes out a little bit better. Alright. Okay. So, it's kind of what we're left with right now. I'm going to come in here, a little bit smaller one, get this just a little bit closer onto his neck. You can see all this is still his sweater, or his shirt, and makes it a little bit more difficult because now we're starting to get a lot more hair involved here. So I'm going to try to hit it with this guy here. Just going to fade it out a bit, which isn't going to give us is like straight lines around the wispies of the hair, which make it look better on top of the actual jersey. I don't like how that one's coming out. I use this one sometimes too, Soft Mechanical 24. I honestly don't know what the difference is. Let's do this one here. Get that a little bit closer again. And all I'm doing this whole time is just I've got black ink, and I'm coloring all this with black ink. So I know it doesn't look like the best whenever it's just white background here, but it'll blend in pretty good once we kind of get the head swapped. We do also have the option of just removing these, and we don't have to get them on top of the jersey, but we're going to try to get it done still here. Most tedious process right here. So just removing some shirt. And if you want to undo anything, just Control Z works, or you can click up here to go through your last few steps of what you did. Okay. Hardest part there is the hair. Everything else is pretty much removed with the background remover. We'll see how that lays over the body. So he's facing straight forward there. So we want an NHL player that's facing straight forward. And because Japan's colors are black, red, and white, I'm going to look for NHL Devils players. Look for one of them kind of facing forward. And then I also want to make sure it's a decent size, which 800 by 992 probably be pretty close. Let's see. Yeah, it's not bad. And fairly similar orientation. So that one worked pretty good. I can size it up just a little bit. And then I can size this down a bit more. Let's go 1200. We'll probably get by with 1100. So that's not too bad. The head's still going to look maybe a little bit big. That's going to be a lot cleaner, I think. The body, I will go ahead and rotate just a little. Edit and free transform. And then that's about where we're going to end up laying. So I'm going to press this to hide Willie Nelson for us for a minute and throw another mask layer on here. So same thing we did with Willie Nelson. We're just gonna remove his head here. And then I can get in the little creases there with a smaller brush. Okay, we can make that work. So I bring Willie Nelson back. I usually like to move the head behind because I feel like it blends easier when you do it from behind, because I can easily kind of clean that up there, but I want to keep his ponytails in it. So instead, we're going to try to make this work with his head in front. Head size still looks pretty okay there. Obviously, we've got this neck hanging over, so we're going to black that out a little bit. And we've got a little white patch here. For the white patch, I'm going to do a patch tool, and I'm just going to select the open area here and see if maybe this will do what we need it to. Give us a little bit more skin over here. Okay, I see what's going on. Patch tool works. I think I'm going to have to copy it. Alright, so I'm going to lasso just a little section here of Willie Nelson's neck. And I'll copy and paste it. This is just going to be to try to cover up that little open spot, and we'll get it to blend a little bit better here in a sec. The reason the lasso wasn't working, or the magic tool wasn't working, is there was no more of that layer there that I could actually use it for. I'm going to accept our, let me copy this and paste it before I start doing anything too drastic. Alright, so I'm going to accept the mask here. That way I can select all three of these and convert them into one layer. And that's going to allow me to then use this patch tool and try to make this look a little bit more uniform for where we cut it. And so you just select your area, you click inside it, and you move and drag it to whichever area you want it to kind of take over. I use it a lot to get rid of stuff like this emblem here. If I click on this main layer and I select the emblem, I can just move it off and then we're clear. Emblem's gone. So that's kind of what we did here. Now we're going to try to clean it up a little bit with this mask layer. Going to turn his opacity down so we can see where this jersey kind of lines up. And I'm still just using black ink again on top of this mask layer, so I'm not actually deleting anything. That way, if we have to, we can just switch to the white color. Okay. If I just need the opacity down for this close stuff, I can turn it back up and clean it up after. I think I got a little bit of open right there. I'm gonna have to recolor in. Yeah. So change to white. Recolor that in just a little. In those areas. Change back to black. Erase the rest of Willie Nelson's neck right there. there we go. Right here's a little bit of conflicting. Just gonna click because it's a little white right there from the open area. That looks pretty closed in there. And from where I'm gonna look at it, it looks fine. His hair, you know, if I remove him, it looks kind of funky down here. But when you put the jersey back on, it lays okay. You can't really tell it as well. And that's pretty much how to do a head swap. There's plenty of ways to do head swaps, but biggest part is to prep. Look at what head you're going to swap on. Try to find one in a decent position, or at least one that's going to be easy to cut. And then find an NHL player, preferably one in a jersey that's a close color if you're going to do a jersey swap, and make sure that their body's positioned in a way that you can actually lay it over with your new head replacement. And that's all I have. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know.